evening,
Hello.
November Foxtrot. Good evening, good evening.
Everyone? There were some eager beavers there this morning.
There were Kenny and Stephen. Well, we're all right.
Yeah, they were on it. How is
Harry
everyone?
Badger, Stephen Whitehead, Fresh Meat, Terry G. Let's playing. Good evening, good evening. Welcome. How are you, Andy?
That's I'm okay. How are you?
I've just been notified that we've gone live. Sorry, I'll turn my phone off.
Yep, I just got shouted at as well. I'm fine. How's your mumps?
So it's not mumps. It turns out that I had a bacterial infection in my face. I think I'm part snake. So I think that I've somehow managed to bite myself. And then because clearly I'm venomous, I've just injected myself with my own poison. So, yeah.
Well,
I learned a lot about myself over the last week. It's been horrendous. It really has. But no, it's getting better. Thank you. I'm on antibiotics and it's...
oh, good.
Yeah, it's proper serious.
Yeah. What did you do over the weekend? Discovered I was a snake.
Yeah. I'm really good at parcel tongue now, so we'll just...
But you're good at something else.
I'm sorry to the audio listeners on the channel tuning in. Good evening.
No one's commenting.
No, not yet. They're just stunned. No, there is no Lance tonight. Lance is unfortunately, I believe, on a course. So he is unable to be here. I think it's a course.
Is it a course?
Oh, no, it's the football. No,
it's the football tonight. It's
football tonight.
Cheering who along? West Ham United?
West Ham, yeah.
Yeah.
So, go sports. Yay!
Go sports. Yay. Have we got a sound effect for that?
I've only got the fanfare. Yeah, sports! Hi, Dan Brewer, Steve.
Oh, that was me.
Speed awareness course. Kenny says guacamole.
Guacamole?
No idea.
Does he mean guacamole?
Guacamole?
How do you spell guacamole? I don't even like guacamole.
No.
Could you imagine getting that in
Terry says that's self-sucking. So, no, I just bit my lip. You know when you have like a little bit of loose skin on your lip and you just sort of like just tear it off with your teeth? Don't do that. That's really bad, apparently. I
think you just got punched. Was it the door handle?
Yeah, I fell down the stairs. Hi, Rage. Hi, Joel Reagan. Nice to see you. Marky Mark.
Steve Walker. Daniel.
Everyone's in.
Oh, we're getting loads.
Right, so firstly, Andy and I, before the show, were having a little flick through our statistics, and we just wanted to say hello to a few nations that are joining us on the podcast over June so far. So we've had one from Mexico.
Hello, Mexicans.
So hi to Mexicans. One from the Cayman Islands. I don't know what you call those. Caymans?
No.
Or K-ladies? I don't know.
There we go.
Genuinely ticking that diversity box tonight. And then it turns out we can actually zoom in on the map of the whole of the US and we can see where we're getting downloads in the US. So if you are in Illinois, Michigan, New York, South Carolina, or Georgia, you are currently up there in our rankings of downloads. So, some of these countries some of these states like Nevada, California, and Oregon,
Canada,
if share it, get us out there. It'd be cool to see if we can have a little competition in the US to see, because I can see the map now, so we can see if the numbers are going up or down. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's evening, James.
I can try and do accents. Joel says if you don't do accents, I'll be disappointed.
You got to try New York. What is New York? I can't think now.
New York, isn't it? It's on coffee. I need a cup of coffee.
What's a coffee?
There goes our New York contingent.
Yeah, sorry. They'll just come over and beat you up. That's all they'll do now.
Hi, Paulus Wales. Yeehaw. Haven't had any downloads on the podcast in Wales in June to date. So
no. Maybe they just catch us live. Yeah,
quite possibly.
Do we have any?
It's all in the grind.
We got up that far yet?
We've got a few in Scotland. Oh. It's got a really weird breakdown. I can see the entire world, and then it breaks it down into the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, Sweden, and Germany. Those are the options it gives me. The UK, we have had 12 in Scotland and 56 in England.
Oh, 56.
So, there we go.
Welcome those 56 people that are listening to us.
Yes, hello. Ray says, why do we let the colonists listen? Well, they probably know more about guns than we do.
Yeah.
Terry says that's because he said he was staying Saturday night, but the wife had other ideas, resulting in one fat lift.
Yeah.
Paulus Wales uses a VPN, so it appears he's in the US.
So there's one. Which area, mate?
Right, let's roll into the news. Let's go.
I take my gun and I go, pew, 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 pew.
News. Any purchases or news this week, Andy?
Nothing airsoft related. 3D printer. You can see in the corner.
That could be airsoft related.
Yeah, I'm planning on trying some stuff. Don't know what yet, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's about it really. Nothing else. I spent all my money on that bloody thing.
Yeah, well, I think a little 3D printed airsoft can be quite cool.
Yeah, working. You're not allowed to print working guns anymore, are you?
It's airsoft. I just meant like the body.
Airsoft. Oh, I could build it. Yeah, I'll try. Might make some little NoFo challenge coins for them all down the beer tents. Don't know. I'll have a think.
Yeah. I've had quite an airsofty week myself. So I, for those who may or may not remember, I had a D&D, a DD tarp, that was a 4x4 meter DD tarp that I took to Defiance Red Tide 1. Yeah, we hung it up to use it as a wall, and it got a little bit melted. A combination of a hot barbecue that was put up against it, and then I believe it was a grenade as well that came in, either a smoke or a pyro. Left.
It was a flashbang.
Was it a flashbang? It's left some holes. It's left some holes. So I've actually, rather than just bin it off, because I thought that's a bit of a waste, it's a 4x4 meter top, I have trimmed off the side, because I only lost maybe a foot and a half. So I've trimmed off the side where the burning was. There's one hole that I had to keep, because otherwise I'd lose way too much of the sheet. So I've sewn a patch over that using a bit of the stuff that I've trimmed off, and then I've re-hemmed it, and I've detached all of the attachment points from the bit I've trimmed off and re-sewn those on the tarp that I've got remaining. Ooh. So I've now got a 3.5 by 4 meter tarp.
And then
instead of a 4x4 meter top.
Yeah. Next event, it will get shorter and shorter.
I just build a little top like that. It's got loads of attachment points on it. But yeah, so basically the DD tops are actually incredibly easy to fix. I got the wife's sewing machine out, and I've hemmed it all up and done a running stitch, apparently. I've done 2 rows of running stitch down there.
Look at you learning.
So yeah, I've managed to spend an evening, literally done all that. And I don't know... With the attachment points, I need to kind of actually get it out and about and see how that's going to work, because the attachment points on the DD tarps are basically set out so that they're all nicely straight lines. Where I've effectively now brought one edge in, I think what I'm going to create is kind of a semi-lean-to with like a bit of a porch. So it'll be like a flat basher sheet with like a little bit of a porch that kind of comes down from there. So I'm going to be playing around with that hopefully this weekend. So I'll get some photos as well, and I'll chuck them on my Instagram at 9volt Airsoft.
Yep. This weekend's going to be a good one for the hammock. It's going to be a good one. Well,
apparently there's not a lot of trees.
Really?
Apparently where we're camping isn't a lot of trees.
Pretty sure last time we went to the wood site, there was a lot of trees.
Yeah, but we're camping in wherever we were when there was that storm.
Yeah, there's trees there.
I don't know. I was advised there wasn't a lot of trees. So I'm going to be testing out my new custom DD hammock. Tarp, sorry, that I've made. And then the other thing, the other little bit of cheeky purchase. You've got again, this isn't going to be very good for the audio listeners, but I managed to find a brand new...
The rustling's pretty good. Or
bit of ASMR. This is a brand new Gore-Tex DPM Woodland... bivvy bag for £25. £25. I was very excited. Literally brand new. It's got the cord in there and everything. No scuffs, no marks, anything like that at all. It was listed as brand new. It's definitely, when I've done my inspection, brand new or super grade. So So very chuffed with
Yeah,
that.
no, that's proper good.
Probably going to. I don't need a bivvy bag. I'm not going to lie. I've got quite a lot of bivvy bags. But for 25 quid, I don't have like a Woodland DPM one. So I thought, well, that's quite good.
Yeah, that is,
So
especially
I'll have
brand new. Brand new. You
Yes.
just snap that up anyway, wouldn't you? And just even if
Yeah.
you don't use it and have it there for emergencies.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean, I don't
perfect,
know. I was quite intrigued by Lance's new bivvy bag system, where he's obviously sewn like the zip and kind of formed it into effectively a hooped bivvy for all intents and purposes. I know it's not hooped, but the way he's done that. So I was debating doing something like that with it, perhaps. But because it's brand new, I kind of don't want to mess it up. So yeah, that was that. So
so I just need to show this.
Yeah.
Is this the same thing as the I'm a Northerner thing? Because I guarantee there's trees there.
I think there are trees there, but they might not be the closest together.
That's all right. Sleep on your own. I'm just saying there are trees there as a fact.
Terry says Mike's doing modifications now, so send all your kit. Oh, hang on. Send all your kit to 9-volt Airsoft. Please don't do that. My sewing skills are not that great.
He used glitter fabric for it. No?
Yeah, I got the glitter glue out and no, I mean, to be fair, it's not terrible, but I generally just kind of set it on a setting and just run it over and over again until it's not going anywhere. So yeah, we'll wait and see. It might all fall apart on Saturday, but we'll give it a go. Right, so that's kind of the end of the news. News end.
Pew, 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 pew.
So it's kind of the end of the news, and we're obviously doing a question and answer tonight. And we had a question come in, and I sort of feel that this is a little bit of news at the same time. So we're going to kick off with this one. So the person who sent this in has asked not to be identified, not necessarily from fear of retribution. I don't think it's been that, but they just asked it anonymously. So they have said, right, where is it? Hang on. Went to a major airsoft site today and was blown away by this. The one mission was to carry a stretcher to the other side of the site and recover a body bag containing Madeleine McCann's body and bring it back to the RV point. He also described the route being not downstairs and over ramps, which he referred to as a spazza route. What is wrong with some people, and why does airsoft seem to attract these people, or am I just being overly sensitive? Now, there's been a follow-up to this as well. So the person that messaged me this has also contacted the site. So they've not just come away and basically had a chat with us. They contacted the site as well. And they have had a response. And the response, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't be asked. It's very long. I'm going to paraphrase it. But the response is basically along the lines of one man's joke is another's opportunity to be offended. And whilst they're kind of suggesting that maybe, you know, political correctness is going mad and, you know, maybe the person that's asked the question is being a little bit oversensitive. Now, we obviously can't verify exactly what happened. We're obviously getting the story as sort of third party. Andy and I weren't there. You know, Lance wasn't there either, so we obviously can't comment from that perspective. But I just don't think it's necessary. Like, it's
the thing that does me, right? And since I've read the message, I've been mulling it over, and it's annoyed me a bit. Is why use a name of a small child that has most likely been killed, right? And it's a small child that they still haven't found. So why use it? Why use a name? Like, we've been to many events where it has been, you need to collect the body bag. Unfortunately, we do play a military sport, as you would, is a way that you could describe it. But why give it a name? Like, you could give it any name in the world, so why give it something that is still relevant? Do you know what I mean? It would be like, you've got to go and collect Bin Laden's body bag. It doesn't need a name.
No, you just go and collect the body.
Child? You just go and collect the body bag. It doesn't need to have a name, which is what I think is in really bad taste. And I'm pretty sure a few events organisers would probably agree with me that giving it a name, a body bag a name, makes it more personal. And it's not the fact that I'm offended by it. is the fact that you're just being a twat by giving it a name and making it a active investigation, because they're still looking into it and things. So why be an arse about it? Do you know what I mean? Just because they collect the body bag.
I think the thing that frustrates me
by it. It's just the fact that you've used the name, you've made it real.
Yeah, I think the thing that gets me is there's no reason for that. It's not that you're reenacting anything or anything like that. It's literally pulling something out of, I guess, popular culture. Because I mean, ultimately, it is a popular news thing at the moment. Everyone's aware, and I don't mean popular in terms of like everyone loves it. I just mean in terms of most people are aware of the situation. It just seems wholly unnecessary. And I mean, even the reference to, the flat route being a spazzer route, for example, which for those that aren't aware, I mean, I appreciate we've got listeners around the world. Spazzer is used as a slang term for someone that's basically, very derogatory for someone that's disabled. Now, one of the responses from the site owner has come back to say, that they don't find that offensive because they class themselves as disabled and the like. But ultimately, you are a public-facing organisation. There is no reason to use language like that. It's not going to enhance anybody's day. It's not, it's not going to be detrimental if you don't use that language. And they were saying, of the 60 players that attended, the person that's brought up the question today, they're the only ones who have said anything about it. Ultimately, maybe you're being a bit sensitive type thing. And firstly, it might only be the one that actually has been brave enough to go, that's a bit out of order. You shouldn't be saying things like that. Because a lot of people don't necessarily have the courage to do that. They're not going to call people out on it. But the site owner, I can only assume that it's either a marshal or a site owner, but one of those is clearly trying to kind of make themselves sound a bit cool or jokey type thing, sort of maybe build a rapport with the players and stuff like that, maybe build a bit of respect. And all it does is you come across as a fucking moron. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Sorry.
So, you're fine, you bring it up. It's starting to wind me up. So I'm going to have to move on eventually on this. But
it's like what Rager said. Rager said that he works with Maddie McCain's parents and he has an autistic child and he thinks it takes the piss. But know your audience, and he would 100% lose his shit as well. And that's fair enough. I'd probably say something there and then. It'd be interesting to see, like James has popped up, Evening James. It'd be interesting to see what you think, mate, about giving props real names. And I think that's the main thing. I think it's more the spaz thing. I haven't heard that term used since I was about 2. So I think with that, that is very much down to the person, like the individuals taking offence to that. But as you said, if you're a public facing company, like you've got to be on good form. So he missed the beginning bit. So just to go over it again for you, James, quickly. We had a listener that went to an event and the organisers ran a game which was collect the body bag to take it to point A to point B. And they named the body bag Maddie McCain, obviously after the missing child, which, is a bit, we personally feel is a bit disrespectful, to say the least. And then what was the other bit? Something about the spaz route?
So there were 2 different routes apparently for retrieving the objective. One was apparently a lot more hilly and stepped, and the other one was ramped and flat, and that was referred to as the spazzer route. Or
the sensible route. I've got to carry a body bag along.
But that's the point, isn't it? And that ultimately, there's immediately ways of saying that without it being offensive. Like it doesn't, and I don't mean offensive in terms of political correctness, because trust me, we at November Foxtrot, we are not a bastion of political correctness at all. Like we are the furthest from it. Some of the jokes and stuff that we've come up with are pretty dark in places, but I don't think we've ever caused actual offence per se. If you have been offended, let us know, and I'll personally have a chat with you, and we can apologise and all of that.
Yeah, because it's mainly Mike.
But it probably is me, to be fair. But ultimately, it's not hugely offensive, but it's just fucking mental that people feel the need to do that.
it's just it throws me a bit. Like what would go through, like as you said, maybe he's just trying to be the big bollocks man. Unfortunately, and I would quite happily name and shame this company because I do.
Yeah, we obviously don't know who the site is and who the person's responded is, and again, because we weren't there, we have to. I don't know about the whole legal thing of saying allegedly people said this. I mean, I trust the person that's told me and asked me to raise this as a question. So I take that as fairly factual. One of the other, sorry, I was just scrolling through the messages because we actually had a bit of a chat, me and the person that sent this in. There were under 18s there as well. Their son, who is under 18 by a few years, apparently looked at them and said that it's so cringy that they think that's funny. And so, I mean, you've effectively got, 15-year-old kids there at a site where people are using that level of humour. And I wouldn't even call it humour, to be fair, but, different people find different things funny. But they're using that level of terminology and the like. And yeah, I mean, Les is right. Can you imagine if we were all there, it would have kicked off. I don't think it's...
Yeah. We've got.
Do you know what? I am going to read the full response. I think I'm going to read the full response.
Sit down, children. Get comfy.
Yeah, this is from the company. So I've just seen your email. One man's joke is another's opportunity to be offended, I guess. I wouldn't have used Madeline M, but is recovering a body bag good taste? Is blowing something up good taste? Is dressing up with a gun and shooting people good taste? Where is the line? I've only had your complaint, which as a customer you're welcome to make, and I'll of course consider. One complaint out of 60 players. Is your offended line lower? I don't know. Airsoft is a bit of fun, plenty of banter, and as a disabled man, I use the word spazzer to describe myself. One of our marshals is gay, yet laughs at the gay jokes because that's what it is, a joke. If everything is off limits, what do we do? Not offend drug dealers, prisoners in prison games, shoot targets as pretending to kill other people. Whose line do we follow, or should we just stay at home and be outraged at comedians or reporters? I wouldn't have used so Madeleine McCann, as the body, and it's not something regular, just a lapse in judgment that seemingly the vast majority either laughed it off or didn't care. Nothing happens when you're offended. I guess we just need to use nice words, not use the word dead, and come up with PC games for hobby that basically glorifies war, ?
Well, yeah, see, that reply in itself just kind of sums up the site, personally, for me.
Yeah.
If we got, I'm pretty sure if I got that reply as as someone sent me a direct message saying that they were offended by something that we did at Rift Airsoft, I'm pretty sure, like Tony, the organizer, right? First of all, we would never do something like that on purpose. But using something like that as a joke, it's not. You're not there to take the piss out of missing girls. Like, you're there to have fun and enjoy a hobby. Yeah, is it bad taste using a body bag? No, not really. You're giving people a combat experience. Even if it's a skirmish, you're still a combat experience. But why? My thing is why make it personal to other people? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know that there could be a relative there of Madeline and Madeline. I've forgotten her name now. How'd you say it?
Madeline.
Madeline. Who would take massive offence to it, and then all they need to do is go to the news. Like, luckily, we have a largest following, but we're not worldwide. Well, we are worldwide, but we're not a news broadcaster. So we can only reach a certain amount of people. But yeah, I just personally, I think it's a bit. That reply just sums up the site, really, because what else are they going to use?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, and ultimately, Airsoft is ultimately a hobby which is very much on the knife edge in terms of if it potentially ever got banned, because we're already carrying effectively replica firearms, which there's already problems with that going on. There's already knobheads who run around on Halloween and other such events. They take them into schools thinking that because they're easily accessible, and ultimately it's causing problems. So imagine if you're now tossing that in with problems of racial abuse or, misogyny. I mean, I know we've covered other things in that as well, but it all starts to compile that as to being, or maybe it's not got a really good audience and really good sort of community and everything like that because it's full of a bunch of dickheads, and that's ultimately the impression that people will have outside of our community if that's the way that we're holding ourselves. So I think we as a community need to be holding people accountable when they're doing shit things like that, basically. There's a lot Fresh of Meat good... says we used to call ours Barry. Fine, and granted that may still, if this is going to sound a bit ridiculous, but if someone's uncle or something like that was called Barry and they'd obviously passed away, that could be upsetting for them. But it's going to be less insensitive because that's a much lower thing. I don't know. Just don't even give it a name. just go and recover the body. It's not a problem. Yeah.
It doesn't even need to be a body. Just the body bag. It doesn't need to have anything in it. Just carry the bag. Full of sand.
Define Events. So Define Events has said, and we actually asked them before the show if they would have a chance to kind of jump on. They said, as organisers, we have to understand that what we do effectively imitates violence, death, and generally nasty things. But when we run Op Irene, Black Hawk Down, we won't be referring to real names. We also have to be aware that there is a line. I would not name a body bag after a person and take the piss out of it, even if you are following a real event, and so be it. But you have to be respectful.
100%.
So yeah. Apparently they will be using the real soldier's name, but we will do it respectfully. And I mean, the thing is, there's a big difference there because you are replicating an actual event.
Yeah, you're doing more of a
there is an element of reenactment. Exactly. It's not like, I mean, frontline events, they are a reenactment society, but they're not going around reenacting the worst bits. You know what I mean? No. Like there's definitely, they obviously do very good reenactments of various things, but they're not going around doing the bits that we all, and I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast because we all know the bits I'm talking about, but they're not doing that. And that's where it draws the line. There is no reason to just draw all this crap into Airsoft. It's a game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You've got him all flustered. Should we read some of the
Let's read some of the comments,
that we've gone through, because everyone's put in a comment, and I think that's
it's worth reading.
It's valid to see everyone's response.
Let's start with Rages. So Rage said, if someone called my son a spazzer that I didn't know, I would end them. It's offensive.
And I would.
Joel
not like
says really shitty response from the site as well.
100%.
Les says, bang out of order, it's a kid. P45 the site, mate. So obviously we don't know the details of the site. So because it's alleged, because we obviously weren't there. If we were there, I would be absolutely branding this everywhere if I had the opportunity. But it's not my place to do that because I can't verify it myself. So Daniel Brewer says, I find it totally disgusting and disrespectful. Shame on that site. Stephen says, personally, I vote with my wallet. If I don't like the site and people, I don't play there. And I completely agree with that. Lovely. I think ultimately, that's the case. James C, no, that's not funny at all. Not a matter of political correctness, just a basic human decency.
100%.
Kenny says, sounds moronic.
Sounds moronic, yeah.
Do you know what? I'm genuinely really happy that our community of like audience and stuff like that, and I hope sort of people listening back to the show agree with us on this, that we're all on the same opinion, because it shows that we're not all fucking knobheads. It genuinely wound me up when I found this out. Yeah. Daz says, if I hear that, I wouldn't go to their event again. Ray says, the reason that people say shit like that is because they've never been punched in the face.
I love you, Rage. Do you know what? That is the quote. Rage has done the final quote of the show. That is literally it. What we're going to read out. That is. Rage also says, no, Mike, we as human beings need to hold anybody to account, not just in Airsoft. And I completely agree. But I just bringing it back to an Airsoft podcast rather than just a general rant about political correctness. Harry Badger says, when we play these fictitious games, it's simple to change the names to protect the innocent. It's a dick move to use real names. And that's what she is. She was innocent at the end of the day, no matter what's happened to her. She was a small child. So Why does that need to be made a game as such?
Yeah.
It's not like It's not like airsofters go around and recreate like the Texas shootings and things like that in schools or things like that. It's not, or the other school shootings. That's not. You wouldn't. No. Oh,
well, that's the thing.
wound
That's the
up.
thing. Can you imagine if an airsoft site went, right, today's game, everybody, is that we're going to be replicating a school shooting? Like, fuck off, no! That's horrendous.
That's just fucking mental, isn't it? And to me, it's the same
That's
sort
effectively along the same lines.
Yeah.
Isn't it really? It's oh well, you know, don't take offence. We're not, you know, one of these nations that have lots of school shootings. It's like, no, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's
then,
hypothetical. That's obviously just something that we've just come up with as a metaphor.
Example.
But yeah. There's just a couple more, Andy, that came in as well. So we've got Fresh Meat says it's along the same lines as the site that ran a Russia-Ukraine game, thinking it was okay, and that was like the first week of the Russian invasion as well. So yeah. To find, I have an old sensible bloke on my team that stops me doing insensitive things. He's basically my PR manager. So, and Daniel says, if I was at that event, I would refuse to play and probably leave on the spot.
Yeah,
so,
I think I would have done as well,
yeah.
and I would have made my feelings quite well known as well at the time.
Well, it's cheered me up that we've all come to the same opinion, because that's
I love
so for the person that asked that question, I want you because I know that you're in the chat, I want you to just, you know, take some solace in the fact that we're all behind you, because that's
100%.
mental. Right, let's go on to some fun things. Alex says, Mike, have you been shot on your chops? No, so I covered it at the start of the show. I bit myself last week and it all got inflamed, and I'm just a snake, apparently. So there we go.
He was eating shit, bit his lip, and infected himself because he eats crap off the floor. Basically, that's what it was.
I wasn't doing that. Don't start spreading rumours.
That might eat shit off the floor.
Right, there's another question that came in from Les. He messaged me earlier in the week, and
private messages again.
We'll probably throw this. Actually, you know what? Let's save that one for when Lance is around as well, because that's quite an interesting one for like all three of us to answer. So we'll do that one another time. Kenny says, "Have you seen the Phalanx airsoft minigun on the pickup truck? Have you seen this? This is the like the massive.
Oh, what
the
Sea
Whiz, I think they referred to as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that looks I was the one that posted it or shared it on the NoFo community chat. And if you're not a member of that, join now. Yes, I want one. No, actually, no, I want two.
Where would you put them?
I would buy 2 trucks, or just one truck and have them both on it. One on the bonnet.
Side by side or front and back?
Oh, side by side. And have them doing that.
See, the only question I had, and I'd be interested if anyone is more up to speed on this than I couldn't work out if it's life size. So, because I was under the I know it as the Sea Whiz, so I'm going to refer to it as Sea Whiz, but I thought it was bigger, the actual sort of Sea Whiz kit, whereas the replica seemed smaller. I'd be interested to know. Yeah,
because I don't think you can fit.
I just wanted to know if it was a 1-to-1 scale replica.
Yeah, a Whiz. I'm just going to call it the Whiz. I don't think you can fit a Whiz on the back of a pickup truck. So I'd say
that's what I mean. I don't know enough about them. Apparently, it's much smaller than the real one. So, angry R2D2.
Angry R2D2. Has anyone seen the video pop up of the same thing, the Sea Whiz tracking a passenger plane that flew over?
No.
Oh,
the airsoft one.
No. A real one was tracking a real passenger plane flying over the boat, and they had to turn it off because it was tracking it because it was within its radar range. I'll see if I can find it. I'll post it up on the community chat.
Yeah. So it kind of spurs an interesting side question.
Chrono it?
Well, maybe it's set to semi-auto. I don't know. So I guess one of the questions that kind of stems out of this is: do we think that automated turrets are a good idea in airsoft? Because obviously there is an element of blind firing, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the system by which you're firing it, I guess, could be effectively automated. We've got the technology nowadays where tracking and the like can be implemented and computer controlled. So what do you think, Andy? Do you reckon it's a case of a good idea, bad idea?
I think they have potential for certain games. It's not something that's really used, as far as I know, in real life situations where you would set up a turret other than in computer games and things like that. So I would say it has potential, but you would need to either have it controlled and not like fully automated, if that makes sense. I think having a little screen or something, like a drone gun maybe. But then you would have to make it. You'd have to give it. So the drone that I'm building for the EOD side of things it's got a knockdown panel which activates a kill switch. So people can take it out.
Is that just a block? I know that you're going to make it more complicated, but I imagine it's literally just a block of wood that just has to fall perfectly on the kill switch.
No, it's going to have a proper little painted target for people to see.
Right.
But when it gets knocked over, it will trigger a kill switch.
But I mean, that won't have a firing mechanism on it, from my understanding, because you're using it as like an EOD setup. So it's not going to be running around shooting players.
I could, if I got bored. I could take the arm off and put a gun on it. If needs be. Here comes armored support. There's Andy just following it along.
Harry says, "Watch this space for a motion tracking turret with a box Mac."
Harry, you've got so many. You've got a list of things to do, mate. Mike's still waiting for his Battle Badger. Which, funnily enough, Stephen Whitehead's mentioned. He said, "Just unleash a pack of Boston Dynamics dogs and call it a day." I would love to have a game of Airsoft on Boston Dynamics dogs, just riding into battle like the cavalry. Would be fantastic. I
think they're quite jittery as well. But yeah, so carry on.
A friend of mine who's listening to the show has literally sent me a message saying the height of the Seawiz is 15.5 feet or 4.7 meters, and it weighs 12,500 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I was guessing that the weight would probably be substantially less.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, no, cool. Thank you for that. I'm just genuinely interested, because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, it's got rungs and stuff up the side of it. I thought, I don't know, couldn't quite work out the scale of the thing when I saw it. Yeah, Ray says Boston Dynamics is the precursor to Skynet. Oh my god, can you imagine that? We have like a literal AI force on the other.
Yeah.
We haven't got enough players to fill both sides, so we're going to release the robot airsofters.
Yeah. Have you seen the robot that shoots? The stand-up robot that they hit with bats and kick it over and it stands up and carries on shit. I need to send some links to people.
That's not Boston Dynamics, that's Bosstown Dynamics, isn't it? By Corridor Crew.
No, it's literally...
Because they did a spoof of it.
No, there's... I'm not sure if it's... They look Chinese. I'm not going to lie. They look Chinese. And they literally had a robot that they were pushing over and spin it round, and it still shoot the target every time. And it was like human shape. I was not impressed with this. I'm not a fan of AI. I think it's going to be the doom of us all. There you go, said it. AI sucks.
Yeah.
And when you make AI into sex dolls, I'm sorry, that's even worse, because then it literally sucks.
Les says a Seawiz with a red dot. A
Seawiz.
So Ray says, yeah, it'll be good as long as you can shoot pyro at them. Harry obviously says yes to auto turrets.
Yeah.
So, fresh meat. Kenny came up with the idea of a sewer pipe chrono.
Yeah. Fresh Meat also gave us the facts. Sorry, mate.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Sorry, bud.
Did not see that.
15.5 foot tall. Nice.
You win.
Ray says, did you not see that AI drone simulation test by the USAF that killed its operators so it could complete its mission? It was a simulation. No, I didn't see that. That's quite scary.
No, we need to stop. Need to stop now. That's why unemployment's so high, because it's being taken over by robots. I'm just saying.
This is like the least podcast, the least airsofty podcast I think we've done. One thing I find interesting with AI is that they did some testing a while ago to see if you could sort of help teach the AI ethical situations. So your car will be programmed to save you. Your car is not programmed if it sees a group of people in the road ahead of you. It's not going to, if it's got the option to either drive you into a wall or drive through the crowd of people, the car, are you going to buy a car that's got like crowd safety control on it that's going to potentially try and kill you? And there was this whole debate as to whether the cars would actually be built for ethical situations or to protect its occupants.
And that is why I buy one without any intelligence to it, or gearboxes, or anything like that, just that fall off. Stick with an old car with a key, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't make it smart.
Kenny says it's called phalanx because it was the Greek shield wall, and it can put up a wall of lead. That's interesting. So where does the CWIS come from then?
I think it's the same thing.
That's probably it's probably an acronym. But Daniel says Vanguard Airsoft team have a sentry gun that has a thermal tracker on it. Like, God, fuck me.
Jesus Christ. We need to get them on. We need to get them on. Make a note. We need to talk to them. I want to see this in action. Right. Even Defiant says, even with the driver in place, Andy, your car has no intelligence. To be fair, I can't even argue against that. It's pretty factual, that one. Well done, James.
Right, keep your questions coming in. If you have any, please whack a little Q on the start of the question. It just helps me find it, and that'll be absolutely grand. Right, next question we had come in. This one came in via email. This one's from... where did it come in? Hang on, I've lost it. Pyro Player 6.
Evening.
How do you balance your desire to play aggressively in Airsoft with the need to follow MilSim objectives and adhere to team tactics?
I make sure that I'm on a team that plays aggressive. I'm quite a forward.
But then you're not balancing your objectives and team tactics.
Well, no, I can be aggressive towards an objective. Capture this person. Okay, they're dead. Or you can be aggressive and still play the. So the way I play, I'm quite forward heavy. Like I'll get up there, I'll get into CQB situations, I'll get up close for like the guaranteed hits and things like that. But I can still play the objective. So if I need to hold a certain area, you will normally find me quite forward of the whole point as the basically the front line. And I would hope that the squad that I was in would do the same thing and have a bit of forward planning, because like at the last event when we had to hold that building, we didn't actually go into the building. Me and the lads that I was with, we went out on the outside to stop them from coming in. On the last one at Red Tide. Right, sorry, I was thinking Shift to Rifts. It confused me. No. Red Tide. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with defensive taskings is effectively, you see this a lot of the time at skirmish games, and there are usually rules in place to sort of try and keep players in a confined space who are defending an objective. But realistically, the best way to defend an objective is to fight the enemy as far away from the objective as possible, because if you're fighting over there, they've got a lot more distance that they've got to cover. So if you die, you've got space for several more waves of people that they potentially have to fight through, rather than just one solid wall, which you could take out with a grenade or something like that. I reckon you can balance it quite well once you start knowing how you play as a person. I know there's a regular listener, Pegasus. He's a very aggressive, like very forward. I wouldn't say like we're not aggressive as in being arseholes to everyone. No, as in like you're pushing. Yeah, constantly, we like to try and move forward. Yeah. And we can still play the objectives, because you get to your objective and then you kind of slow your pace down a little bit, and you make sure that if anyone does come towards the objective, or if it's say for an example in a capture one, you're in there quick, you've got your objective, and then the people behind you can catch up and secure it better while you push forward. So I think once you know how your play style works, you're definitely a lot you can definitely play objectives while being a forward aggressive player, personally, because I think some people would probably disagree, but I think I am quite a forward acting player in Airsoft. I'm there to shoot and get shot. So,
well, I mean, realistically, you see it a lot of the times whenever you get events which are like quite bottlenecky. You can end up with situations where, you know, we've all seen it, where you've got a doorway and you've got maybe like 10 people on either side of the doorway sort of just stacking up and not really doing anything. And it's not necessarily that they are unable to move forward. It's potentially they just haven't looked at all the available options. So at Shift Your Rifts, we had this. We were trying to push down. Right, let me try and orientate myself. So as you come into the game zone at Shift Your Rifts and turn an immediate right, there's like a back road that runs up. Echo base. So we were pinned basically between the sort of ammunition storage bunkers and Echo base. So we're sort of trying to push up there. And there's all these people just standing behind the crates, and grenades are coming in and taking out great groups of people. And all it took really was just literally get on your belt buckles and just sneak around the barricade. And then we started pushing up the tree line on the left-hand side. But people weren't doing this. And you just, there's no movement. You're not going anywhere. You're not gaining anything. You're not achieving any extra points. All you're effectively doing is just dwindling your resources, because we were just losing people, you know. But you also end up with these background generals, don't you? Where like the people like 3 feet behind go, push forward. It's like, yeah, but there's practicalities of doing that. Lead from the front.
I'm very much. The worst thing is when you organise everyone's sitting there in a stalemate, and you sit there and you spend 5 minutes organising everyone. And you go, right, you lot push up with me while you lot cover us, and you run around the corner and there's you and one other person, and everyone else is still hiding. You just get lit up. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. It happens more in skirmishes. It happens less in sim events, definitely. But yeah, you spend all that time organising stuff and. You kind of, but I'm there. I'm there to get shot, and I think some people don't. It is painful, and I do think some people don't like getting hit, but you do need to accept it if you want to take an objective and you are an aggressive player. If you get hit, you get hit. There's not really anything you can do about it. It's going to happen.
No, well, it's the teamwork element as well, I find. Yeah. So again, at skirmish events, you don't generally tend to get a lot of people teaming together. You might have like a group of mates, maybe sort of 2s or 3s, sort of little clusters perhaps. But for the most part, you don't get sort of like the big, I say organised. I mean, we've all seen MilSim teams that aren't organised, but you don't get the great groups of like 10, 15 players that are kind of all working towards the same objective and they're communicating and that, because you don't get that at skirmish events. It tends to be more MilSims and battle sims where there's that kind of coordination happening. And when you're on your own, you know, there's only so many players that you can fight against realistically. When it's for proper like force on force, you're not. There's no cover fire if you're running over a berm to try and attack the enemy. It's just going to end up like, you know, you just get mown down basically.
It's like Daniel said, some people always forget their feet, don't they, Andy? I'd like Daniel plays at Rift quite regularly, and he's a very forward acting player as well. And it would be good to see him. I'm trying to hint now, mate. It'd be nice to see you at some sim events. I'm winking for our listeners.
Sorry. Terry's just said one way to get the gobby player out of the way, just shoot him like an officer. Oh dear.
That's 16th century tactics, isn't it?
Harry says, doing my first NAM event this weekend. That sounds cool. When researching the GI loadout, I found forums and groups were a bit picky about loadout accuracy. Have you experienced this on NAM or other niche era events?
Yes.
Yes, I have. I mean, you go for. I mean, you've got a lot more experience, Andy. I mean, you've probably been a little bit picky sometimes as well because obviously you've got a background in this.
Yeah, so it all depends. Like on some events, you do really try to portray the people correctly. Like I was mainly World War II and Korean War, a reenactor, and you do try to keep your kit as real as possible. But to be honest, there's always going to be that person. There's always going to be that person in any sort of reenactment or reenactment loadout, for example. You get people in skirmishes that never played a MilSim in their life, and they're wearing all their Gucci gear, and they look down on people that have turned up in joggers and trackers. Do you know what I mean? It's you're going to get it in all walks of life. If you do the best you can, the people that actually matter probably won't really give a shit, to be honest. As long as you look reasonably good. If you've got a 1962 dated mess tin, I don't think, like, or jacket or something, I don't think people are going to be that bothered. I'd honestly just go with what you've got and enjoy the event. If people are going to start getting picky about it, then that's their problem. Just enjoy it, mate. 100%. And the NAM events are good. I've been to one. I was Viet Cong, which was great because it was just basically pajamas and a straw hat. So, but yeah, it was. Just enjoy it, mate. Don't worry about what other people think. As long as you're doing it and you don't ridiculously stand out, like you're wearing pink camo, for example, just enjoy it. That's
like rocking up in multicam or something like that's obviously going to be a bit standout. I mean, we've done a Falklands game before, and I mean that was, we had a stab at as best we could. It wasn't a replica kit by all means, but we were sort of trying our best from the perspective of people that don't do this regularly to do these reenactment events, and I think that does play into it because if there's forums for doing Vietnam events, they're obviously quite a popular one. Falklands is less popular, I would say. World War II is probably up there in terms of popular events that, these events are happening pretty much regularly enough that it might be worth investing in the loadouts and the kit if you want to do that. I mean, it depends on the event, I would say a little bit, but
cost of fortune or Soldier of Fortune does actually have quite a lot of NAM and World War II era kit. That seems to be what they're tailored towards. And to be honest, Vietnam, you can still pretty much get away with green combats. It depends on what unit you're portraying as well, because each unit had totally different bits of kit. So if you're going to do an event, I would always say do a bit of research into what unit you want to portray, to see what sort of weapons and stuff they had. But it's like we've spent all this money on modern kit. Like we're all running, pretty much everyone has an M4 of some sort. You're not going to go out and buy a 1960s M1, whatever it is. Is it M161 or something?
It rings a bell, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's just say a period weapon. You're not going to go out and spend all that money on a period weapon just to kind of look the part. You'd fluff it up a little bit. You'd make it look dirty. So in the photos from a distance, it looks the part. I'd just say research and go and have fun.
That's the main thing. Ultimately, again, going back to we've iterated this a couple of times now. It's a game, and if the event that you're going to is a specialised reenactment, then you are probably going to want to try and reenact that a little bit. And people's budgets aren't unlimited, so if you can't get hold of a super expensive bit of, niche kit or gear that it's really set the bar, there are ways and means of getting around it. I mean, the US helmets for Vietnam. You could go and splash out on having a real one. You could get a mocked up one that's not real, that's got the cover on it, so it doesn't look too dissimilar. we airsoft helmets. The number of people that run around with plastic airsoft helmets as opposed to the proper ballistic rated ones. But then I've done events where I've worn the Mark 6 helmet just because I wanted to get the feel of that for an event, and it was very heavy.
Yeah. Because then it's like my LMG. I've made it the same weight as the real one, unloaded. So it just gives you a small inkling of what the people that you're technically portraying had to go through. So yeah, I think it's a good. You can see it from people's point of view, but ultimately you're there to have fun, and that's all that matters. And if someone's going to get picky and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be wearing this green; it should be your green is 0015," but you should be wearing 00192. You just go, fuck off, it's green.
Yeah. Sorry, Anvil Airsoft has just chipped in and said, I know a channel that's done a great basic NARM loadout video. Go and check out Anvil Airsoft.
Check out Anvil Airsoft. We haven't done a NARM loadout. I think you and Lance should do your Falklands loadout. I didn't do it. Yeah, but I think you and Lance should do that. I'll have loads of questions for you. Yeah.
See, my Falklands loadout, the only thing I really didn't like on my Falklands loadout, and I couldn't find a way around it, I had to use M81 Woodland US trousers because I've got a bit of a muffin top going on, Andy, and I can't find Woodland DPM trousers that fit, basically.
That's fine. Just don't do them up and use a ratchet strap. That's what I do.
Just crank myself into my trousers.
Going for you need a quick release one though, because when you need to go for a loo, it's bad.
Right, there's all sorts of stuff popping up in the chat.
Yeah, we got loads of good comments.
Yeah, let me just flick through. Right, there's one more there. Right. I'll run through from the top because I know there was a couple right at the beginning. Andy, I bought an NI chest rig off Amazon and it's well good.
Oh yeah, my one. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? Like I was genuinely shocked how good it is. If people need a NI chest rig, definitely go on Amazon. It's a cracking bit of kit.
Can we whack a link on our community chat?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'll go and dig it out.
Okay, so if you're on the Facebook, please feel free to go check that out. We will put a link to it on there. Daniel Brewer says, Andy, you can print Steve a new whistle.
Oh yeah, Steve. So Tony Whitmarsh, the owner of Rift, has had a whistle since basically day one, and I think Steve lost it at Shift Your Rifts. So it's like there's big uproar about it.
Marky Mark says, Andy, I've had confirmation my Gen 3 DDPM are currently in production. Stay tuned for review.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Yes,
I want to see these.
Very excited about these. I've got money sitting to one side ready for a set of special trousers that I want.
Ray says the reason I've kept that because I want to make that.
Yeah, we want to keep that. That's going to be the end of the
show. Old age, apparently he said, old age I find slows you down for your aggressive style. And then Terry agrees, it's granddad rights.
Yeah. Right.
Steven's play style is meat shield.
Yeah.
Which works,
But picking up small children and just putting them in front of you and then putting them down and carry on going is frowned upon normally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a case of picking someone up that's unwilling to be a human shield. I think it's more, someone volunteers to run on point.
I prefer my way.
Kenny says, hide in the brambles near the objective.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. Daniel's already planning to attend MilSim event.
Lovely.
So good. I apologise. I am not 100% on how to pronounce his name.
Ildif, and it's a girl.
Ildif
is a girl.
How is it pronounced? No, I know. I just wasn't sure how it's pronounced.
Name. I think it's.
Their name. Sorry. Okay. Popping in as promised. Stickers arrived today. Thank you so much for sending.
Lovely.
Not a problem at all.
So that was.
I apologise for butchering your name.
Yeah, that was a listener that is currently trying to fill up her gun case with stickers. So we sent her a couple. Hope you enjoy them. Hope they stick.
Rage says, surely for a Vietnam event, as long as you are playing Creedence Clearwater Revival, you're golden.
Yeah,
completely agree.
Or Ride of the Valkyries is another good one.
Yeah. Frontline events are very understanding. Their suggested Argentine loadout was almost completely proxy and well cheap to get hold of. I mean, I think they're kitted up with Kit Goblin.
Oh yeah, that's another good site.
So if you want sort of another company that you can have a chat to in terms of getting interesting bits of kit, then yeah, Kit Goblin. My neck was broke after shift with that big old lid on.
Yeah,
apparently.
I
bet. Ray says, same with Black Hawk Down. If someone doesn't play Faith no more, it's not Black Hawk Down or House of Pain for that matter. So, I mean, with Rage, you can basically just turn up to the event naked and just play some appropriate music and you're sweet, basically.
Yeah.
Terry's waiting for the Napoleonic event. I have all the original kit.
Yeah. New bags.
Genuinely. I saw I had a little advert come up on Facebook the other day, and it was for like a little Lego sharp, basically. And I was looking at getting it for Terry. I thought it might be a little cheeky present for him. I haven't yet, but if you're good, Terry, I might treat you. James C says the Falklands War is criminally underrepresented in media and in airsoft and just in general.
Yep.
And I would agree with that. Right, just quickly flick through these because literally the longer we take to say comments, people keep posting more. Defiant says, at Anvil, love your kit vids because I'm a Sat Gear Whore 2. I'm guessing that there was a correction in there. Giant Gear Whore, maybe?
Because I'm a sad
Gear Whore 2. There you go. Oh, yeah, sad would make sense.
That's right. It's literally written
thanks.
just underneath the comment, mate.
Yeah, but I'm reading the starred ones.
Look, there you go. Look. So there you go. Show. Sad.
There you go. Thanks, mate.
That's all
right. Joel says nothing like the cold, wet leather of a Mark 6 helmet.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I can't say that's one of my favourite things, but
yeah.
Anvil says green lightweight trousers do the job for larger fellows for Cold War loadouts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good shout. Stephen says, what price Glory do repro in your size, Mike?
Yeah, what price Glory is another shop.
Ah, right, okay, sorry. I will check them out. I'll make a note of that. Les has asked Andy if you print NoFo keyrings.
Do you know what? I'm surprised you didn't say, oh, look, he's written it down now. Thanks, mate. I'm surprised. Can you print me a T-shirt? Do you know what? I'm going to 3D print you a T-shirt. T-shirt keyring with NoFo on it.
Very stiff.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
Fresh Meat's also mentioned the lightweight. Sorry, Fresh Meat. I appreciate we're covering things that you're saying after the fact that you posted them as well. So, yeah. There you go. Oh, God, that was torture. I'm a girl and it's pronounced like Haley without the H. Ailey. Oh. There we go. Thank you. Making a note.
Ailey. Ailey, then.
Ailey.
So, Ailey. Yeah. Sorry, we both butchered your name because I was calling you Edith.
Yeah. Alex has helped as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what. It's a nightmare. It's genuinely a nightmare. Whenever you get emails and then I have to ring them up. And I'm always honest. I say, look, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. Can you just tell me? Because otherwise I'm going to spend the first 20 minutes of this meeting just completely guessing and just changing it and sort of trying to hope someone else will say something.
So all the listeners from other countries, if you've got a weird name, just email Mike. Because me and Lance won't read it. It'll all be down to Mike and he'll lose his temper with us. So yeah, please email us.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Right, there was a question that came in from Les. Les says, where do you draw the line to costing? Not everyone can afford the loadout. Plus, where would you store it if you don't have the space?
So, for me, I'm also a bit of a kit whore. So I tend to save my money for the decent bits of kit. and for me, I'm reasonably lucky because the missus has given me a room. But a lot of my stuff is up on the walls. You've always got space on your walls, the way I see it, because you don't hang. People don't tend not to hang stuff on the walls, so put a shelf up, or a little cupboard with doors. You can pick them up from Amazon for like 35 quid or something, if you don't want it all on show. And you can tuck them into a little corner or something. There's some really good pictures of people's gun cupboards and things on kitandgear.com, I think it is. Kit and Gear. I'll have to Google it. I'll put it up on the community on our Facebook group. But it's got like loads of really good ideas of like how to store weapons and kit and stuff. But if you're lucky enough to have it on display, you can get a couple of bits of 4x2 or 2x4, whichever way you want to say it, and build yourself like a little display rack. I've built one out of cast iron pipes that I've screwed to the wall that I hang my plate carrier and my stuff on. I would say if you're lucky, try and display it.
Sorry, we'll come back. There's some funny stuff going on in the chat. I'll come back to that in a bit. For me, I mean, I guess that's obviously assuming that you've got space to put a cupboard or things on the wall. I'm probably fit. Yeah, I mean, you also said you're a kit whore. I wouldn't say you're a kit whore. I think you're quite good at terms of just buying the stuff you need.
Yeah, so I'm not.
I would say I mean, I've got literally. I've got shell. I mean, I'll see if I can actually. I'll tell you, give me 5 minutes in a bit towards the end of the show. Yeah. We'll come back on after the little debrief thing, and I will show you. We'll have a little bit of a post episode thing where I'll show you my cupboard.
He's going to lift up.
Very exciting for everyone behind the scenes.
Lift up his skirts, ladies and gentlemen. No, but I know. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, if I don't use something for a few years, it tends not to get kept. It tends to get sold for something that I know that I need. So I'm not a kit whore as such, but I'm a bit of a kit snob.
I'd call you a geardo.
A gear? Whoa.
No, a geardo, as in like a bit of a gear weirdo. In terms of like you are.
I'm literally, every other listener is literally going, you've just called Andy a dildo.
No,
that was literally the first thing that pops in my head. Thanks, Mike. I am now a dildo.
I mean, ultimately, I think it depends on what you're playing. So if you are a regular sort of skirmish attender, and, you know, I appreciate this is a MilSim based podcast, but, you know, if you're going to be going skirmishes, realistically, what kit do you need? You need your rifle, some good eye pro, some good boots, and then some trackies. In all fairness, like, you know, you're just going to be running about. You don't necessarily need all the kit to play airsoft. If you're going to go with more of a MilSim approach, then it does tend to be more elaborate in terms of the kit. I mean, if you've got to do overnighters and stuff like that, I mean, straight away you've got camping kit to add on to that.
I have more camping kit than I do airsoft kit. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I've got 2 hammocks, one for summer, one for winter. I've got 2 tents, one for summer, one for winter. I've got
3 bivvy bags for no reason.
3 bivvy bags. I think I've collected bivvy bags are my downfall. That's my one. I think I've got about 6 now of all different styles.
Yeah. So that's obviously storage. So let's just cover the costings of this as well. So for starters, it depends if you want to buy kit new or not. I would always suggest personally that if you are wanting to try stuff out, it's best to try the stuff out. Either, you know, you've seen other people that have it. You go, can I have a look at that? And can I maybe try that on if they're sort of similar size to you and you just want to have a go at stuff? I mean, you know, clothes might be a bit trickier on that front, but like plate carriers and things like that, obviously you can get a kind of a feel for how things are. Because the biggest thing, and I think everyone in the chat would probably agree with me, when you start off with airsoft, you go, ooh, that's shiny, I'll buy that. And then you put it on and you're like, this is so uncomfortable. Like, this is not designed for movement at all. So, right, I'm going to put that aside. And then, you know, you start this box of stuff that I don't really need. I'll get rid of at some point. And then the box turns into 2 boxes. And then, you know, some people get rid of this stuff. Some people don't. And that's how it accumulates. So you can end up wasting a lot of money on kit that you probably won't end up wanting to use when you start. Go and check out boot fairs. That's another one to save money. Shift Your Rifts was phenomenal in terms of the deals there. It was like,
it was mental. This year was mental. Some of the stuff.
I don't want to call it like Poundland because it wasn't that things are like ridiculously cheap. It wasn't like all a quid, but the discounts felt like Poundland. If that makes sense, you're like, oh, that's a good bargain. Like, I'm going to go and buy that. So, yeah, there's opportunities that you don't have to pay full whack. eBay's another one for that.
eBay, I find that you have to be a little bit careful now and again. Also, a lot of the airsoft sales groups and things like that, and the Discord chats and things, they can be quite fruitful from time to time. Someone wants to get rid of something quick. And it pops up. I always like, if I'm passing a military surplus shop, 9 times out of 10, unless I'm in a rush, I'll pop in there and just see what they've got, because you might go in there and go, oh shit, that's a smock that they've got sitting there for like 30 quid, and it's brand new. Like, snap that up. Do you know what I mean? It's things like that. Like, it's always worth just popping into little army surplus shops, especially if you're passing.
Anchor Supplies in Nottingham is one of the best surplus shops. I'm going to keep ranting about this because they sell everything from traffic bollards, surplus traffic bollards, to like police kit and all sort of the various uniform bits and pieces, to boots, to pegs, to KFS, to anything you need is pretty much in there. You can rock up to that shop, and I know Anvil will agree with me because I know they've been in there a few times as well. You can rock up to that shop and you can come out without having spent an absolute fortune and be pretty much kitted out.
Yeah, it is a good shop.
Yeah, I mean, I went in there and they said ice axes and stuff like that. It's like, my brother's like, you don't need an ice axe. I was like, but it might get icy in the winter.
Yeah. Plus, look how cheap it is.
Yeah. So there we go. Right, there was a few comments I just wanted to cover again. So, Ailey's been in the chat. She's got a mental surname as well. I won't read it out because otherwise people start tracking you down on the internet, because there's weirdos out there.
Yeah, there's two.
Defiance comment just made me laugh because, fuck's sake, Ailey, did your parents just throw Scrabble tiles at your birth certificate? It made me laugh.
You can insult him as well. It's not a problem.
Yeah. So there we go. Right. Are there any more questions that come in? Not at the moment. If there's any more questions, we've probably got time for one more. In the meantime, while we're waiting, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so on our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and our website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. To give people an update, we are looking at procuring some more patches. So we are in the process of having a chat with a supplier to provide those. So for those who've been reaching out, we will have some patches in the future. In terms of what they will look like color-wise or style or anything like that, we're going to be going with the basic logo.
This one?
But we may play around with some of the colors if we can. We need to look at the costings of all of that.
We're going to have some ones made.
We also have some stickers. So if we're at events or you bump into us, Andy's got something on there. Feel free to come up and say hello. We have some stickers. And just keep sharing. It's great. It's have a massive build up of the following since Shift Your Rifts, because we obviously had a great chat with a lot of people. So if you know someone out there that might be needing a little bit of tender love and care towards their MilSim, or they haven't quite made the leap or anything like that, they're unsure about it, suggest the show. We can always give them a helping hand if they if they're not sure about certain things, they want to ask a question, or we've obviously got a great audience of people in there as well to answer.
The knowledge that I've learned as well from all you guys that jump on the show is phenomenal. But yeah, if you know anyone that's bored out their mind on a Wednesday, yeah, come along, share us.
Yeah, Ailey says, or just put a post on Insta that you need stickers, and Andy will find you.
And I will find you. I'll hunt you down. I was like, you know what? I was generally looking through, and I was like, I don't remember liking this person, but looks like she needs some November Foxtrot stickers. And then they arrived.
There you go. Hi,
I
Silly.
did feel really creepy though. I was like, I'm messaging this random lady, just going,
yeah, see,
stickers. I was
Andy
like,
and
am I going to get in
Andy,
trouble?
I, and Lance are all on the Instagram. We're all signed in on the Instagram account, so we can all see these messages coming in. And even I was like, it's a bit strange, Andy.
I was like, but this was after Shift Your Riffs, and I was like, proper on, like, let's get our name out there, let's get some stickers out there, let's give everyone free stuff because I love everyone. And then that one came up, and I was like, do you know what? You deserve some stickers. So you were very lucky, and so was I, that you didn't turn around and go, fuck off, creep. I'm the best person to give out stickers. Just message me.
I was trying to give away lollipops at NAF last year. That didn't go down well.
I think that's worse.
It was worse.
If I message someone on Instagram saying, do you want a lolly? Do you want a lolly?
Yeah, well, you can't do that on Instagram, can you? I'm gonna post you a lollipop.
Yeah, do you want a lollipop?
Oh look, why have I got my account banned? Anvil says there was an awful lot of spare kit being sold at the Midlands Airsoft Fair this weekend.
Oh yeah, we need to get down to that, don't we? We'd like to get down to that and see that, because I hear that's got some good little deals that knock on there. That's the one that Lance has been to a couple of times, hasn't it?
Well, we'll put that one in our. Maybe we need to set up like an events. I know we've got our events calendar, but maybe we need like a little
hour
thing on there to tell people when we're going to stuff. As well,
if we ever go to stuff,
that might be a good idea.
Yeah, write it in your book. Write in the NoFo Bible.
Write it in the book. Defiant says, kit storage is a sore subject in my house. The wife is pissed with me. There are pelly cases in every room. Defiant needs lock-up storage. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, so, you know, I've been quite fortunate in that I've had a few people sort of give me bits and pieces of kit, and I try and give stuff away as well.
Yeah, because
that's another nice thing to do, in that you can sort of go, oh yeah, you know, if you like that, you just want to take it. Or, you know, or people are at events and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I've got a pair of gloves. I'm like, well, I've got a spare pair. Here you go. You can just have them.
Yeah.
So I do take some of the bits of kits. Yeah, some of the bit of kit that I don't really use anymore. Sometimes go to events just because, you know, I might just give it to someone. I mean, like Ryan, good old comms Ryan, was at the event at Shift Your Riffs, and I had a spare pair of multicam boxers, not used. They were brand new, but I think I bought them I bought a pair for myself, and I didn't realise they came as a pair of two. So I was like, oh, well, there you go. Just give them a pair of boxers. That was a weird engagement because I hadn't prefaced it with anything. I just literally gave them a pair of pants.
Evening, Damien.
Yeah, pay stuff forward is always a good plan. Defiant says, I only have one NoFo sticker and I have about 50 pelly cases. They just aren't enough. I'm giving you more than one before.
Yeah, you've had more than one.
I'm pretty certain. I'll give you some more when the next see you, though, James.
Yeah, we'll get some more. We're going to have some special ones made soon.
Ailey says lollipops are definitely creepy.
Yeah, see, I knew. Yeah, stickers are better. We need to stop buying lollipops and buy more stickers.
Kenny says lollipops would work better if they were fresh up guy. If you were the fresh up guy in the club loo. No, you can't stand. I'm not going to stand at the event toilets just going, do you want a lollipop? That's even worse.
With the Odin NoFo that smells like kit.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. Les wants to give a massive shout out to Rage as well, for various bits of kit as well, and I
Rage,
echo that sentiment. So
yeah, Rage is absolute legend.
Right, there was a question that came in. There was actually two, and I'll save Kenny's, your best all-round riff that works with most game types. I will save for another time because I want to just cover this one. I think it's pertinent to tonight's show. What's your favourite historical loadouts, chaps? And this is from Anvil Airsoft.
Last week, no, mine would be late war infantry, World War II US. I feel the kit's better. The buckle boots were amazing. They're a lot more comfortable. The kit's less hot. They start introducing really weird nylon wool mixture kit, so you're not sweating your ass off. I would say that would be my go-to. If I could choose any,
is that your favourite though?
Yeah,
like from
100%.
I mean, that's obviously a usable one.
Oh, what favourite? As in any?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be with Terry on this.
See, I'm going to go the same. That's why I wanted to get your opinion, because I really want to do a sharp loadout.
Mine would have to be, I would say, I quite like I don't know what regiment they're portraying, but the ones in the Waterloo episode, the Scottish regiment with the big bearskin hats and the kilts. I think they look proper baller. Like if they came towards me, I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
So my personal preference for any loadout would be like the US cavalry. You know, like the proper Wild West films where they're like, you know, the yellow
blue
scarves and like the blue. I just think that would be wicked to do. Like that would be proper cool. Practically speaking, probably not the best. So I would say more modern day. It's a toss up for me between Falklands, Vietnam, and I really like the US kit from World War II, but I probably also really like the Iraq War US kit.
Yep, where you had the desert clothes with the was it M81 flak jacket?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was an M81 flak jacket, wasn't it? That, and then you had your rig over the top of that. Mate, they must be fucking roasting like constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it looks cool personally.
It does look
but
cool.
If I had to absolutely pick one, it's probably genuinely going to be the Falklands stuff. Just because I do have a bit of an affinity for Woodland DPM. Like, oh no, actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go US Woodland. Like the what they call them? They're not the Home Guard. I had this chat with somebody the other day. The reserves? No. National Guard.
National Guard.
I really like, and I think that's probably from watching loads of films, but I really like the kind of the classic, you know, Rambo, the National Guard in Rambo.
Yeah.
Like the that loadout. That looks cool in my mind. I'm gonna pick that. There's so many good ones, really. I'm gonna need a big house.
I think modern day mine would be I really like the pararescue, the US pararescue unit, because they still run Tropic Tiger Stripe as they used to a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what they run now, but that's just baller. That's like, I don't care. I'm just going to wear what I want because it looks Gucci. Mm-hmm. And that's plus they're lunatics, and I think their kit looks awesome. That would be mine.
All right, let's. So I feel like we've kind of. I know we're sort of stretching the question now. I feel like we've done like the historical stuff, concept. Like if it was a futuristic thing, so using like I guess film and media and stuff like that. What would you go for on that front?
Iron Man.
I meant as in like a loadout, like an army.
That is a loadout.
Fictional sci-fi army. Just one man. I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man. All right. Okay. Fictional. I'm going to show my inner nerd now, and I would go full on Imperial Guard from 40k Games Workshop, because I think like it's just the humans standing up against things that are clad in armor. Do you know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. That would be my go-to.
Yeah, I see that.
Or if I've had the money, just a full-blown, fully working Space Marine outfit, because how cool would you look then?
Yeah. See, I think I'd probably go Starship Troopers.
Very similar to the Imperial Guard, isn't it? Yeah. So that's.
I mean, the Starship Troopers, funnily enough, was actually based on because it was meant to be like a parody of. please nobody make jokes about this, but it's meant to be a parody of, I believe, like World War II German uniforms and the like. It was meant to be sort of like that portrayal. But I just think it looks cool, personally. It does look very smart, and just got to kill those damn bugs.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
or
cool.
just a full-blown spaceman outfit, like off of like Moonraker or something.
But you have to run around the entire airsoft game just really slowly,
bouncing.
Yeah.
And when you get hit, you have to press a little button, and air shoots out the side, and you spin.
Right, let's run through the chat. I'll be honest with you. I was ignoring the chat because I was getting super into coming up with the different loadouts. Terry says, "What a GIF? A GIF, so a jock in a frock."
Yeah.
There you go. Defiant says, "Not proper historic, but early 2000s Tora Bora mix of all sorts: UK, SF, CIA, and Delta."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look baller.
Terry would be the Falklands SAS.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen says the PAS GT. Joel says Rhodesian loadout with short shorts. I bet that's a sight. Daz says DPM Wooding. Presume Woodland.
You can be Wooding.
Ray says best historical loadout is the mine emergency SAS stuff or the original long range desert group stuff for World War II.
Yeah.
They're making for those that enjoyed the SAS program, the dramatization of the sort of start of the SAS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
They are making series 2 of that apparently, which I'm looking forward to. Defiant says, "No, I mean skipping around the mountains in DPM smocks and US tricolour trousers, DPM ops vests, and whatever you can get from a local outdoor shop." Fresh Meat says Starship Troopers. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Kenny says Aliens Marine.
Yeah.
Harry's on board with that. Colonial Marines from Aliens. Paulus Wales. Yes, the Astra Militarium.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you.
That's what
that
they're
means
called.
to you.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Defiant's going to go full Judge Dredd. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see James
just with the handlebar mustache.
Yeah. And it was just, I can just see him walking around going, "I am the law." That's got to happen now. That's got to happen.
Cool. Right, I think that's pretty much everything. So thank you for joining us this week.
One? Hang on,
did I miss one? Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, Waterfall. So I thought you meant the "I will fight you" Paulus Wales.
No,
slightly further down. So the Warhammer 40k Space Marine as the Imperial Guard after the week.
Yeah.
So, right. Next week we are going to be chatting summer weather gear. So hot weather gear. It's not a full loadout episode per se, but we'll be sort of talking through some of the things to consider when you're moving from a winter event to summer events. Obviously more water, but there's other bits and pieces that you might want to consider as well. So we'll be talking through some of the bits of kit that we have on that perspective. We'll be back at 8 p.m. next week in the same spot on Facebook and YouTube.
And also, one thing that we've got in the news.
I'll drop you play the news jingle again.
Oh, no, you don't have to. Just do the.
No, that's fine.
Just do ooh.
Pew.
There you go, pew. We are getting a new discount code from White Sphere Tactical very soon. They're just generating it at the moment. So if you're looking for kit and stuff, we're going to have, I think they're going to start us off at a 10%. But the more people that we get going to the shop, that could increase over the years. So go and hit them up. That's White Sphere Tactical. And hopefully we'll have a code for you very, very soon. Once Jake comes back from doing what he's doing, secret squirrel stuff.
I haven't yet bought any White Sphere specific kit, but when I was at Shift Your Riffs, I bought a Secutor mock Tomahawk axe. So it's my brilliant little Secutor axe, which for people that know what other brand of rifle Secutor make, which is the RAPAX. There's a bit of a joke in there. I'll let you work that one out for yourself.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants to hang around for 5 minutes after the show, I will display my shelves. This will probably be weird.
You're back.
We'll call it.
Your back entrance.
Andy will still be here as well, but yeah, I will play the outro and we'll end the episode. Well, if you want to stay, it's up to you.
I'll play the end of the episode.
We'll see you all next week. Thanks, Andy. And we'll leave you with the closing words from Rage. Which is the reason why people say the reason why people say shit like that is because they've never been punched in the face. And I think that sums up the beginning of the show. So if you've only just joined us, jump back, and that will make a ton more sense.
Yeah, but it's wise words nonetheless.
Yeah. So there you go. Right, we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. It's the after the show. Welcome.
19 people stayed to see your shit.
It's not the most organised of shelves. But if anyone is in the need for storage, I highly recommend looking at scaffold poles as a means for constructing very, very solid shelves. They're a little bit of a state at the moment because I've been sorting it out. I've actually spent the last couple of weeks reorganizing this completely. So I've actually got boxes now that are allocated with certain things. So, for example, tools. This one is cook set stuff there. And it's been quite a good opportunity to have a bit of a clear out as well of various bits and pieces. But yeah, that's another way of storing. My helmet collection in the back, along the top there. And the PAX system wardrobe makes an excellent display cabinet. We have covered that prior. But yeah, they do take a plate carrier. I have checked that. So there you go.
Yeah, he does have a helmet problem.
I do have a helmet problem. Yeah. Love a helmet.
Love a helmet.
Right. Join us next week. We'll see you then. Have a good evening.
Bye. Are you going to play the outro again?
I'm going to play the outro again.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you guys.